In this video, we're going to discuss how to write the topic sentences for your argument paragraphs. The argument paragraphs are the body paragraphs that will be in the first half of an argument rebuttal essay. And these are the characteristics that you want to include in your topic sentence. Number one, you need to make it clear early on in the topic sentence that the purpose of the paragraph is to present one of the reasons for your side of the issue that you advocate in the thesis. So this would be a reason for your stance. And in order to do this, you can use the word reason or a synonym of that word in the topic sentence, or you can just make a claim in the topic sentence that is self-evidently, just obviously, a reason for your stance. Then you need to tell the reader which reason you're going to discuss in that paragraph. And of course, that needs to be one of the reasons that you previewed in your thesis. And lastly, you need to be specific in presenting that reason so the reader can understand it just in the topic sentence. They don't have to read later. They can tell what the reason is in the topic sentence alone. So for our good and bad examples, the topic I'm going to be using is, should the federal government provide free college for all students in the US? And the thesis here is saying no, right? And it's actually a good thesis for an argument rebuttal essay, so I do want to pause a little bit on that. So we have our stance here. The federal government should not provide free college for all college students, so that's the stance. Then we have because, and then we have the reasons. Doing so would balloon the federal budget deficit, decrease the incentive for students to work hard at high school, and be unfair to those students who do not wish to attend college. So those are specific parallel reasons why the government should not provide free college. All right, so what I'd like you to do is pause the video at this point, read through the half dozen topic sentences I have here, lettered A through F, and for each one, write down whether you think it's a good or a bad topic sentence based on what we talked about and why, and then I'll come back and give you my comments on it. So you can pause the video now. All right, coming back, the first one is not a good topic sentence because it doesn't present any kind of point or reason. It just jumps right into a specific fact. So it never sets up the idea that a reason for the stance is being presented in this paragraph, and it doesn't say what the reason is. It's just a specific fact. B has the same problem. It's another specific fact that's being presented. So again, there's nothing that tells the reader that a reason for the stance is going to be presented here. It's just jumping right into evidence. And that's a common problem. People have all this evidence that they want to get to, and they sometimes just forget to have a topic sentence. So A and B are bad examples because they just are a lack of a topic sentence. All right, C. C is a good example. It has a nice setup here that lets you know that it's presenting one of the reasons for the stance because it says one of the reasons that, and here's the stance, the federal government should not provide free college, and then we get the reason, because it would dramatically increase an already enormous federal budget deficit. So if you're stuck for how to come up with a topic sentence, that structure will work. You can just say one of the reasons that, and then you present your stance, and then you give the reasons. That will work. And that might be good for the first reason, like the first argument paragraph, because when you say one of the reasons, it's kind of like you're starting out, right? So that could be a good structure to use for an initial topic sentence. All right, looking at D. D is also a good example. It's a similar structure, but it would be for a later body paragraph because instead of saying one of the reasons, it's saying another reason, and then it gives the stance, free government college is a bad idea, and then we have because, and then we have our reasons. It would increase the federal budget deficit by nearly a third. And the reasons here too, I should mention, are nice and specific. Increase the deficit or increase it by a third, a good specific version of the reason, okay? All right, let's look at E. E is also a good example. Even though it doesn't use the word reason, it makes a claim that is just very obviously a reason to be against free federal funded college, because it says free government funded college, so that's the issue, would do this bad thing, increase the federal deficit. So that's another kind of structure you can use. You can say whatever the topic is would be good or would be bad. That kind of structure will let people know that you're giving a reason either for or against that stance. All right. Lastly, we have F. F is not a good example, right? People should just pay for their own college. That is not setting up any kind of idea that you're giving a reason for something. It's just like someone spouting off and giving their opinion. And it's not really connected to the idea of free government college, which is the topic. It's not really connected to one of the reasons for the thesis. As you can see in the thesis, ballooning the federal budget deficit is the reason that C, D, and E are all tied back to. F does not tie back to that, right? It's just sort of this opinion that doesn't have a connection to one of the reasons from the thesis. And again, as I said, there's really no language or structure here that indicates to the reader that this is one of the reasons for the stance. All right, so looking at these, C, D, and E are all good examples, different kinds of topic sentences that you could use to begin one of your argument paragraphs.